It wasn't till 10 years ago, when I was 53, that I found out that I'd got ADHD, which explains an awful lot about my past. At school, I never felt connected, and nothing ever sunk in, because every 2 seconds my mind was elsewhere. It would change all the time. But people didn't recognise it back then. I think to my parents I was stupid, and to my teachers too, and naughty, stupid and naughty, because to cover it all over, I just became the clown. And so the education didn't serve me very well. These days seems that these things get picked up, but not then. It just didn't seem, it wasn't recognised. So there wasn't a hope of me going on to secondary education, to college, university, whatever, because although I'm not stupid, I basically educated myself. After some years doing jobs in factories, basically, after my father died in 1975, I had this sort of impulse to go and look into nurse training, so that's what I did. And somehow I managed to get through the not too stringent, really, process of interviewing, and went to live in the nurses' home. I was just 21. And in a couple of months managed to get one of my nursing comrades pregnant, and in a feeling that I should do the right thing, we got married. But we were too young, and it was the wrong reasons, and both from very different backgrounds. I'm just a country boy, country lad, and she's, her parents are from Barbados, although she was born in the UK. But we were very different backgrounds. And we had 2 children, and we lost one. But lost a third one. Dominic and Victoria. Vicky is 43 soon, and Dominic will be 40 soon. So they're all grown up now. Anyway, we were together for about 6 years and then came apart. And then I went on a spring of bad relationships that I shouldn't have got. I think I was just so desperate to be with someone. Just afraid of being on my own, I expect. So after a 10-year relationship with my second wife, during which time I'd qualified as a nurse. Somehow managed to get through the exams and ended up as a qualified nurse working in accident and emergency. And it was so stressful, not because of the blood, not because of the injuries, but because my mind still wouldn't stop wandering, and I was just so scared that I was going to make a horrendous mistake and miss something out. And I wasn't getting on too well at home with my second wife. And so I was just so stressed. Very stressed. And ended up having panic attacks. And then being sent to a psychiatrist, and I was put on heavy duty antidepressant, amitriptyline, and it was just like being sat on. I couldn't do anything. But at that point I'd been pensioned out of the NHS because it became obvious after several attempts to go back to work that I just couldn't function. Couldn't. But I got myself a job in a bicycle shop because I'd always cycled and I knew how to mend bicycles. And a chap was just opening a new bike shop in Gloucester. So I began to get some experience as a professional mechanic, and that was fine, that was great. Apart from the fact that I had to work in a basement with no windows, which didn't help matters. But there came a point where I knew I couldn't stay on these tablets, and I couldn't stay in the situation of the marriage, which is a long story, but I just left. I took nothing with me. I got nothing out of the marriage. It was, she made sure of that. I'd been paying the mortgage for more than 10 years. And all of my belongings, I got a few things back, but nothing significant. And straight into another relationship. What a fool. With someone who stayed for 10 years. And you see, people get suspicious of me because they think that I'm being something I'm not. And what I am is just distracted, and it's hard. Anyway, that relationship ended after about 10 years, and by which time I'd managed to get enough together to get back on the housing ladder, and I got there just in time before the prices started to shoot up. And this is the house that I have now. But, so I was on my own for about 8 years, just working in a bike shop in Bristol, and started doing renovations on the house slowly. Anyway, in 2005, I was in Ireland, and I met a Japanese girl called Hiroko, and we didn't really keep in touch that much, but I had an email or a phone number, I can't remember, for her, and she'd moved to Ireland from Japan by then, and she was immersing herself in the traditional music, playing the Anglo concertina. And then in 2011 the tsunami happened in Japan, which was just horrendous, and I thought about Hiroko, and so I contacted her and just asked her if she was all right, if her family was all right, if her friends were all right, you know, and we started a discourse over texts, emails, and it was coming up to Easter, and she would have had some time off from whatever job she was doing, and I asked her if she'd like to come and visit for Easter. She was living in Ennis in County Clare, and she came over, and our relationship began there, and we've been an item ever since. Initially she was still working, teaching Japanese in University of Limerick. She was still working there, and so we had a sort of, I'd go and see her in Ireland, she'd come and see me here for a while. And then we went to Japan in December 2011, and we got married. I think it was on Boxing Day, or was it the 28th? 28th it was, 28th of December. We got married in basically the council office. In her local area, and in Tokyo. And we really couldn't be happier. She's not here, but this is her in Spain last year. Just being lovely. Anyway, she'll be back from Tokyo on the 12th of August, and I look forward to that. And we're keeping in touch regularly online. I think that's probably long enough.